So here's problem number 27 from section 11.2 having to do with gender and why people from different genders do sports. Let's start with step one. And what's our population? Where are we getting the subject for this test?
Sports players.
College sports players. By the way, when they say that, it's not necessarily that these people are playing competitive sports like a varsity sport in college. When you get to college, you'll find that there's lots of opportunity for you to do all kinds of sports. At Michigan State, there is intramural flag football in the fall,
Quidditch.
volleyball, Quidditch, softball, soccer, all sorts of things to keep you active and healthy when you get to college. Okay. What on your cheat sheet? What's the next thing? Parameter? Okay. Now, on your cheat sheet it says parameter. I might say here, what I'm really looking for is a statement of what variables are we looking at. And I believe we're looking at gender versus what is it? Motivation, reason, motivation. Those are the two variables that we're looking at. What's our H0 claim? Gender and motivation are independent. Meaning that they don't vary based on what gender you are. Everyone's just pretty much all the same. And our HA claim, gender and motivation are not independent, meaning that it does have some effect. And if you've ever, I don't know, when I ran competitively, I always had this thing that, like, within the last half mile of any race that I was in, I don't get passed. No one passes me in the last half mile. Period.
Throw elbows.
No, it's like I'm just going to be in the last half mile. I'll do passing. No one passes me. That's just a motivation that I had when I was running. Okay. What alpha level do you want to set?
Mine was finished. 0.05.
0.05? That sounds great. So done with the step one. Let's go on to step two. What are the conditions for this? What is this test called, by the way? It's the chi-square test of association or independence. I'm going to go for independence. Independence. Okay. And, of course, our first condition is that our data set needs to be unbiased. And we say, sure, that's true because the data, the participants in the survey were chosen randomly. Second condition was that the sampling needs to be independent. And sure, because the population of this large college is at least 10 times our sample size of 134. So 134 times 10 is 1,034. Do we have, and this says it takes place at, does it say it takes place at a large university? No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say whether this is a large university or not. Okay. PwC. Okay. It could be at a small liberal arts college, in which case the population of students is pretty low. All right. So, finishing up Do we have a large sample size? Do we have a large enough sample size? And where do we have to look in order to find that out? We have to look at the expected matrix. And let's jump and skip over this. Let's go ahead and do our calculation phase. And then we'll be able to look at the expected matrix. And then we'll have an idea of whether we meet that qualification or not. So let's go over here. Let's get our data in. Second matrix. I want to edit a matrix. This is going to be 4 rows and 2 columns. And that looks about right. That looks the same way that the data is formatted in the book. 7, 18, 21, 5, 25, and 13. And again, based on our conversation yesterday, if the data is presented with totals on the margins, remember you don't use the totals, you only use the interior part of the matrix. All right, so there's our observed matrix. Let's go ahead and go to stats, tests, and I think it was option C. You know what, I'm just going to go and grab it out this way. There it is. Whoops, too far. Oops, there we go, chi-square test. So we're saying our data is found in matrix A. When the calculator calculates the expected matrix, so put it in matrix B, and all we have to do is say, calculate. And there we go. Chi-square value of 24, p-value of, see if I can do this right, 0.00005. Yeah, when it's a -5, that means there's 4 leading zeros. Oh, not okay, 1. You're right. All right, so let's transcribe that information and put it onto our step 5. I'm going to say that the chi-square value is 24.89. Right? And I'm going to say the probability that chi-square is greater than 24.89 is equal to 0.00002. If the digit after the 1 is a 6. Oh wait, we should also remark how many degrees of freedom did we have? See, 1 times 3, so 3 degrees of freedom. And of course it says that right there. All right? So we've done step 3. Can we go back and finish step 2? Can we look at the expected matrix and find out whether we meet the criteria? Let's see. Second matrix. There's matrix B. Hit enter again. And I look at those values from the expected matrix and they all look bigger than 5. So we do meet that criteria. Large sample. All expected values greater than 5. Check mark. Okay, everything's done except for our conclusion. Because the p-value of 0.00002 is less than the alpha value of 0.05, we reject H naught. Okay, now we need our context sentence. Gender and motivation is not independent. And if we use the association statement, there's an association between gender and motivation. But we'll use it since we're doing independent.
How do you know?
I'm sorry? Either way is acceptable.
Okay, so that's
To say that gender and motivation are independent is another way of saying that gender and motivation are not associated. To say that they're not independent is to say they are associated. So
yeah, because like there was like a question, multiple choice. It's like you had to know if it was like definition or like
yeah,
there's no substitution.
Yeah. no association means that they are independent. So let's say association and independent are antonyms. All right. Gender and motivation are not independent. All right? Now, that takes care of the baseline question, is there a significant difference? What's missing here? How are boys different than girls in this situation? How are boys different than girls in this situation? Okay, now this is what we refer to as delving into the data. Okay? If I were to make a bar graph of the high social comparison, high mastery group, what do we see? The males go up to like 30, and the females are at like 14. Let's do males are blue, and girls are green. What if we did the high social comparison, low mastery group? That's 30. Okay, where we have males at 18. It's about like this. And females at 7. Does that tell a story? In both of the categories having to do with high social comparison, the males seem to have larger amounts. I think that tells a story. I think it says that males are more competitive. And as a long distance runner, I can tell you that no one passed me in the last mile or half mile, and certainly no female passes me in the last half mile. No.
Why not a girl? They're not as good as guys? Is that what you're saying?
Sexist pig.
There's many people who believe that sports bring out the worst in people. And in that particular category, yes, I was a sexist pig. I am not being beaten by a female. Period.
What about a transgender?
Hard to tell. All right, and if we look at the other two groups, low social comparison, high mastery, what do we get? Males have 5, and females have 21. Okay, and if we look at the last group, which was what? Low social mastery, or low social comparison, low mastery. Females are at 25, and males are at 13. Oops, all the way, I did it wrong way. Males are at 13, about this much, and females are at 25, like that much. All right. So again, on the things where where it's about how do you compare to other people, certainly the females look like they don't want to be in that concern. You know. So there's the delving into the data. The data says that the differences are significant, and I say that the significant differences is on the social comparison side, not on the mastery side. All right? Now, I didn't exactly follow the directions that were in the problem, But I did give you the pieces that I think that are associated most closely with the quiz that you're going to take today. All right? Does anyone have any questions? Paul, pull up your pants.
Pull your shirt down.
Pull your shirt down. All right? All right. All right. I'm glad we got that on the recording too. All right. Any further questions about this problem? What are they going to think when they hear pull up your pants?